welcome back to Mandy Vivi at Home. Today we're going to be doing a new series where we teach you how to paint some paintings. And today we are going to be doing an ombre painting, and the next thing that we're going to be doing is a beach scene.
Third painting, we are going to be recreating one of my old paintings. Okay, so the colors that you are going to need for this ombre look is yellow, orange, coral, and black. And if you don't have coral, coral is pink and orange mixed together.
Okay, so the next step you're going to have to do is to get a palette or anything that can hold paint and put all your paints on it. Now, depending on the size of your canvas, you're going to need a little bit. You don't want to put too much because, like my mom always says, you can add, but you can never take back. And my canvas is pretty small, so all you need if you have a small canvas is just a tiny dollop like this. Like that much. Maybe one more. But that's it because we still need to fit all of the colors. Alright, so the next step is to choose your paintbrushes. These are, me and Vivi recommend these ones, and they are flat brushes. It's just easier for them to blend.
And if you don't have those, these fat brushes work too.
So the first color that you're going to use is the yellow. Now you're going to take it on your paintbrush like this, and you should have a little bit on it because you don't want to have like too much or too less, because you don't want to have to go back and forth and back and forth. And what's really important is you want to make sure that you try to be as even as you can with the colors, because you don't want to do this much yellow, this much coral, and then orange, and then this much orange. You want to try to do the exact
Try to spread it evenly.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make it like sort of like an arch shape. That's how you blend.
So that's how Vivi does it. Mandy's starting kind of at the top.
Now I don't spread evenly, so that's how you know me. And then you're gonna fill it in.
And you don't have to spread it evenly. Everybody's style in paint is totally different. Alright, so as you're finishing, this is a very important step. Now, say you have yours like mine, which looks like this, right? This is going to be really hard to shade. So what you need to do for the ombre is kind of like just go like this, and it doesn't matter if it's not blended all the way. It just makes it a lot easier to kind of go back to it and just make sure that it looks good. And you want to make it like different shapes.
See
like
that?
This.
It's like kind of blending in.
Yeah,
getting
that's
lighter.
kind of what you want to do for it to look better. I'm not saying that it wouldn't look good as what I already had in the beginning. This just makes it a lot easier for it to blend and shade and look good.
Now the next color that you want to use is the coral color.
And the reason why we used the coral color was because it was really close to orange, and orange is our next color, so we just wanted to have a nice blend. It's not totally like orange, but it's pretty similar if you ask me.
Go.
Okay, so now Vivi is blending. She's always ahead of me in painting. But now yours looks like this, right? Because you have to get in the crevices that we did. Now, for this, you want to not dry, but like take all the color that you had off of your paintbrush so it doesn't get, and you want to kind of just blend it in like this.
Or you can go over across.
Yes. Alright, so we already did the orange. Vivi's just doing some finishing touches. And before we start on the mountains, you're going to want to let the orange well, the whole painting basically dry. And it actually doesn't matter if you want to do hills or mountains, whatever you like. All right, so we let our canvases and paint dry,
Which took about like 5 or
10 minutes.
yeah.
And the paintbrush that I would recommend is the angled brush.
But there wasn't another one, so I'm just using this small flat brush.
And the reason why I like this is because it's kind of going in the same direction. It makes it easier to make better lines for your mountain. And the good part is that mountains, if your hand isn't super sturdy and you kind of maybe have like shakes, it's fine because mountains aren't perfectly straight and they have bumps. So you can just say, well, mountains have bumps. So, all right. So, first let's do that because now what you're gonna do is I personally don't recommend, maybe don't recommend starting at the very bottom of it, going like there to here. I would suggest going maybe halfway, like at the right there.
Yeah.
And just going a straight line like that. Now mine are gonna be more like longer, but again, you can like add different stuff. Like you can add like a mountain coming out like that if it's too long, or just do whatever you want.
And you kind of don't want, for your next mountain, you don't want to start at the end here and go up like that, because yes, that's how mountains are, but if you look from like a high angle, they're like sort of behind. So I recommend you go a little bit like in the middle of the other line.
And don't worry if it looks fat like this one, because you're going to end up filling all of it in.
Yes.
All right, so depending on how much mountains you want, if you have an outline like this, if you want more mountains, you can add it in the middle of them like this. Just like that. Okay, so now you have to, after you're done with your mountains, you want to let them dry for about 5 minutes to 15 minutes at the max, just depending on how thick your paint was and how big your canvas is.
After we come back and let this dry, we're going to put a sun in.
Okay, so we let our mountains dry, and now we're going to add the sun. This step is optional, you don't have to do it. And you can either use a different color of yellow or you can use the same color. I am going to tone it to be a lighter, a darker color, just because I don't want it to be the same color.
And we recommend you to use a flat brush just so you can get a thin line as you're making the sun.
One more tip is, if you're gonna darken your yellow, don't use too much black, because a little bit of black goes a super long way, and I don't want you guys, and I don't want me to have like an ugly color, because no.
Okay, so you might have to add more layers of yellow than one, because if your mountains cover all the orange, the coral is really dark, so the yellow doesn't cover it as well.
These are our final products. I'm really proud of how this turned out, and I hope you're proud of yours at home. And yeah, make sure to like,
Subscribe,
and turn on those post notifications. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.